All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome to this episode of Aussie English. This is an Aussie Fact episode where I am going to be teaching you all about bush medicine, or at least I'm going to go through a little bit about bush medicine, what it is, and then also talk about 10 of the most popular, most famous bush medicines. Alright, so bush medicine is traditional medicine as it is known and used by indigenous Australians. And according to the WHO, the World Health Organization, traditional medicine is defined as the sum of the total knowledge, skills, and practices based on the theories, beliefs, and experiences indigenous to different cultures, whether explicable or not, used in the maintenance of health, as well as in the prevention, diagnosis, improvement, and treatment of physical and mental illness, right? So, medicine. Bush medicine includes the traditional medicines that are used by all Indigenous people or clans across Australia. It is also linked to the holistic worldview of Indigenous Australians in such a way that the interaction between the emotional, spiritual, physical, and social aspects is considered vital in attaining and maintaining good health. So generally speaking, Australian bush medicine is made from plant materials like bark, leaves, seeds, berries. However, animal products are sometimes used as well. A primary component of traditional medicine is herbal medicine, and this is where natural plant substances are used to prevent or treat illnesses. In modern times, many of these herbal medicines have been co-opted by modern medicine, including things like tea tree oil and eucalyptus oil. And we'll go through both of these. They're on the list at the end. Considering the vast number of Aboriginal groups in Australia, not to mention the multitude of different environments spread across this continent, from rainforest to desert, remedies vary from clan to clan, right? You're not going to have the same bush medicine across the entire diversity of Australian Indigenous cultures. It's going to vary from place to place. Thus, there is no single set of Australian bush medicine, the same way that there's no single Aboriginal culture or Aboriginal language. In fact, Aboriginal is kind of a really broad term for what is in reality probably 250 or more different clans, different groups of Indigenous people in Australia. So I got a lot of the information today from a website called Australia Geographic, and I'll link Australia Geographic in the transcript. That they are an amazing organisation and website and magazine if you guys are into Australian wildlife, Australian plants, and everything else Australia, okay? So definitely check out Australia Geographic, whether it's online or whether you go into a news agency somewhere and grab a magazine, okay? All right, so the top 10 different bush medicines. Lemongrasses. So the leaves, stems, and roots of native lemongrasses can be made into a drink in order to treat things like diarrhea and coughs, sore throats, and colds. You can also apply it to the skin to treat things like rashes and sores, and you can make a root poultice mixture which can be applied to the ears to treat earaches. I think that's kind of like if you were to make a chewed up kind of ball of the roots, right? So recent studies have found that the herb has properties that relieve headaches and migraines, and they suggest that it can cure much the same way that aspirin cures. Number 2, emu bush. Indigenous people from coastal areas of Australia value emu bush for both medicinal and ceremonial purposes. Its leaves can be used as a decoction for sores and wounds, and an infusion for colds, headaches, chest pains, and diarrhea treatment. It can also be smoked to help create a sterile environment for newborn babies and healing new mothers. Number 3, the billy goat plum or the Kakadu plum. So the Kakadu plum is a fruit that's native to the Northern Territory, as you probably know by the name Kakadu, and it's known to be the world's highest source of vitamin C. an essential nutrient rich in antioxidants, and one in which will save you from the ravages of scurvy. So this is found in most veggies and fruits, especially things like lemon and oranges. You guys will know what vitamin C is. So vitamin C is a valuable dietary supplement and is also involved in tissue repair and building collagen, which play a role in wound healing and anti-aging. And besides having an incredibly elevated level of vitamin C, the Kakadu plum is also rich in iron and vitamin E. Number 4, the kangaroo apple. And after reading this article and learning a bit more about the kangaroo apple, I realized my mum and dad have a kangaroo apple in the back of their yard. So the kangaroo apple plant is a natural anti-inflammatory steroid, which assists the production of cortisone and can be used for treating achy joints and wounds, and it also encourages skin rejuvenation on scarring, pigmentation, and aging. But be careful, unripe fruits are actually poisonous. This is probably why mum and dad don't use the kangaroo apple in the backyard and they just leave it alone. Number 5, the Gumby Gumby plant. The Gumby Gumby plant is a small bush with little star-shaped flowers. The flowers are yellow in colour and they have fruit that are yellow or orange skinned. It is found throughout the more arid regions of Australia, and it's perhaps the most potent yet versatile indigenous medicine. It has a large number of traditional medicinal applications, from the treatment of coughs and colds to eczema, and even helps lactation in breastfeeding women. And recent scientific work examining the benefits of the Gumby Gumby plant have found that it boasts a wide range of benefits, including being an antipruritic, an antiviral, a detoxifier, a regulator of blood pressure, and a booster of the immune system. There you go. Number 6, eucalyptus. The eucalyptus is a well-renowned Australian icon, right? The gum tree. But did you know its oil is also today found in lollies, mouthwash, and is even used for aromatic purposes more so than only for medicinal purposes? However, its traditional uses are where its real benefits are found, which is natural pain relief and fever reduction. It's a proven antibacterial and also has analgesic properties, and as a result, it can treat things like colds and respiratory problems, as well as joint and muscle pain, dental health, fungal infections, and even wounds. Its applications stretch even further from the medicinal and culinary, as the potent scent produced from eucalyptus oil is also a brilliant natural insect repellent. And on a side note, the oil is actually a toxin that has been produced by the eucalyptus plant to protect itself. So this is why koalas have such a hard time digesting eucalyptus leaves, because they have to deal with the poison in the leaves and the fact that they don't have much nutrients in them. Number 7, the snake vine. The snake vine is another incredible anti-inflammatory and antiseptic indigenous bush medicine. Its leaves and stems can be warmed and mashed into a paste and applied topically for arthritis pain in joints, as well as in other inflammation from injuries. You know, maybe you've got a bung shoulder or hip, you can whack this on there and hopefully it'll give you some relief. The snake vine sap can also be used as a broad spectrum antiseptic. Number 8. Tea tree. Oof, I love the tea tree. The tea tree or paperbark tree grows in sandy or clay soils around swampy and seasonally wet areas on the central eastern coast of Australia. Since the 1920s, the tea tree has been one of the most widely known natural antiseptics in the world and has been used as a mainstream pharmaceutical since then. Today, its oil is widely used as a safe, natural, effective antiseptic with proven antiviral, antibacterial, and even antifungal properties. And I've been using this since I was a kid. My mum would always apply tea tree oil to different scratches and scrapes that I'd get as a kid, or, you know, if the cat scratched you or you got a splinter, you'd always put tea tree oil on there, and you could put some on your top lip, under your nose, if you wanted to clear out a blocked nose. So it's potent stuff. Number 9, the umbrella bush wattle. The umbrella bush wattle is used by Indigenous people who soak the wattle in water or boil it, and the decoction is used as a cough medicine for sore throats and as a remedy for dizziness and nerves and anxiety. Last but not least, we have number 10, the witchetty grub. And this is the only fauna on the list of predominantly floral medicine, the witchetty grub. While a well-renowned bush tucker amongst Aborigines, the witchetty grub is also a great bush medicine. The creatures are a kind of caterpillar or grub that live inside of trees, in the bark underneath it, and they range in size from about 5 to 12 centimeters. And nutritionally, the grubs are a great source of protein, and they're also jam-packed with good fats and vitamin C. Despite being a great food, the witchetty grub can be crushed up and made into a paste and applied externally in the treatment of burns and open wounds as a seal that helps the skin heal. So there's a little whirlwind tour of indigenous bush medicine, guys. Keep your eyes peeled for things like tea tree oil and eucalyptus oil at your local pharmacy or, your local supermarket like Woolies or Coles, as they're a must-have in any Aussie's medicine cabinet. So I hope you enjoy this episode, guys. Definitely dive in and try and learn more about Australian indigenous culture if you're down under, because the more I do it, the more I find it more and more fascinating, right? It is a never-ending source of interesting material. Go and find out about indigenous culture. Anyway, until next week, guys, I hope you have a ripper of a week, a ripper of a night, a ripper of a day, wherever you guys are, and I'll see you soon. Peace.